This question reads, simplify x squared plus 2x minus 3 all divided by x minus 1, where x is not equal to 1. Let us see how to simplify such an algebraic fraction question. Solution. Let us rewrite the question and then we go ahead and simplify it. So x squared plus 2x minus 3 all divided by x minus 1. Now, this particular mathematical expression or this particular question is an algebraic fraction. This is because we have a fraction which is constituting a numerator part and a denominator part. Now, this whole term or this whole expression here has a variable or an unknown or a letter, and the letter is x. Because there is a letter in this particular fraction, it has become algebraic, or it is constituting an algebra part. So the variable or the letter or the unknown in this particular question has made it algebra. So this is algebraic. And because it is a fraction, it has become an algebraic fraction. So the conclusion is that this particular algebraic expression question is an algebraic fraction question. So to simplify an algebraic fraction question, there is something we need to consider. We have to first of all know that there is no equal sign when it comes to dealing with algebraic fraction question. So for that matter, you need to study the way you have to simplify this. Now, this is a single fraction expression. That means that this entire expression is just a single fraction with a numerator and then a denominator. We need to check the variable or the unknown or the letter in this particular fraction and see the powers of them. Now, when you check the numerator part of this particular algebraic fraction, you realize that the x or the letter x has its highest power as 2. That means there is a power. Because there is a power at the numerator and there is no power at the denominator, I have to factorize the numerator, because if you are considering the numerator with the denominator, the exponent of the variables will give you an indication whether we have to factorize or not. Now, the variable at the denominator stands as an exponent of 1. That means there is no power. But the denominator, the x that is beginning, has an exponent of 2. So this is what gives us the go-ahead to factorize. So now let's separate this particular expression at the numerator and see how we will factorize it. The expression at the numerator is x squared plus 2x minus 3. Now we have separated this in a rough work format. So we are just doing this to factorize. When we are done, we bring it back and substitute it at the numerator part of this question. Please take note that if you want to really become very conversant or very good in solving or simplifying algebraic fraction questions, you need to be very conversant in the means or the ways of factorization. That means you need to be very conversant and very familiar in how to factorize algebraic fraction. You have to know all the methods for factorizing algebraic fractions. If you consider this particular algebraic expression question here, you realize that there are 3 terms. First term, x squared. Second term, 2x. And the third term is 3 or negative 3. Now, 3 terms means it is a trinomial. So it is a trinomial. And then because it is a trinomial, let us check the power or the highest power of the variable or the letter. Now, the highest power of the letter is x squared. Because we have x squared and then the highest power is 2, then this becomes a quadratic. So it will become a quadratic. So in effect, this particular expression that we see here is a quadratic trinomial. A quadratic trinomial means that there are 3 terms in the expression, 1, 2, 3. And the highest power or the highest exponent of the variable or the letter in the expression is 2. So the x power 2 makes it quadratic and the 3 terms makes it trinomial. So quadratic trinomial. In mathematics, we factorize quadratic trinomials. So here, I'm going to teach you step by step how to factorize this quadratic trinomial. Now, the arrangement is perfect. The square term is first, and then the middle term is the x power 1 or the variable power 1, and then the constant is the last term. In view of that, I'll check the coefficient of the square term and I'll check the constant. Now, the coefficient of the square term times the constant can produce a number that can give me factors that will still add or subtract to produce a coefficient of the middle term. What am I saying? This is what I mean. Now, the coefficient of the x squared term is 1. So I'll bring the 1 and then I'll multiply it by the constant. With me, I don't use the negative 3. I only use the constant in its positive state. So I'll use positive 3. Now, 1 times 3 is giving me 3. Now, the factors of 3, 3 is a prime number. So the factors of 3 will be 1 and 3. So 3 will have only 2 factors because it is a prime number. Now the factors are the numbers that can multiply to give you that number, or the numbers that can divide this particular number 3 without a remainder. So I have the factors at 1 and 3. Now if you check the factors of 3, which are 1 and 3, they can subtract to give you the coefficient of the middle term, which is 2. So the factors of 3 will be 1 and 3. Now, if you check this 1 and 3, how can I get positive 2 from 1 and 3? You realize that it will become negative 1 plus 3. Negative 1 plus 3 will give us positive 2. So in view of that, I will convert negative 1 plus 3 into its x form, since the 2x has an x variable. So it will become negative 1x plus 3x. Remember, when the coefficient is 1, we don't actually write it. So it will be negative x plus 3x. Now, negative x plus 3x is the same as 2x. So in place of positive 2x, we will substitute negative x plus 3x so that we'll go ahead and then we factorize the entire expression. So we will then rewrite this particular expression as x squared maintained. We will not bring the positive 2x, but rather we'll bring minus x plus 3x. We'll substitute minus x plus 3x in place of positive 2x. Then we replace the minus 3 since it will still be maintained. So we'll now go ahead and factorize them with their grouping. Now, x squared minus x is the first group because they have a common factor of x. Then we have 3x minus 3 is also the second group. Now, the common factor here is x. So let's bring the common factor x out of the bracket. Now, x squared will be divided by the common factor x. So x divides x squared to give us x. Now, x will divide minus x to give us minus 1. That is the meaning. Now, bring the positive sign and then factorize 3x minus 3. Now, the common factor for 3x minus 3 is 3. Now, bring it and then open and close the bracket. Now, positive 3x divided by 3 will be x because 3 will cancel itself and cancel the 3 coefficient of 3x. So, it will remain with the x. Then we'll have minus 3 as a constant divided by the common factor 3. So minus 3 divided by 3 will give us minus 1. So finally, the ones in the bracket are also common factors. So we bring the ones in the bracket x minus 1 out. And the ones outside the bracket will also be put in one bracket, x plus 3. So x minus 1 factorized out into one bracket. Then the one outside, which is remaining, that is x plus 3 also in another bracket. So this becomes the factorized form of x squared plus 2x minus 3. So in the algebraic fraction, we will replace the numerator x squared plus 2x minus 3 by bracket x minus 1 and another bracket x plus 3. So we will rewrite the whole expression now as, now the numerator will not be x squared plus 2x minus 3, but rather it's going to be x minus 1 in a bracket and another bracket x plus 3. That is a factorized form of the quadratic trinomial at the numerator. Then we will repeat the denominator, which is x minus 1. Now, if you check, and you can be very observant here, you realize that x minus 1 at the numerator, that particular part is also at the denominator x minus 1. So you can even put the x minus 1 in brackets. Now, we can go ahead and just cancel out. So I'm trying to say that x minus 1, x plus 3 at the numerator, all divided by x minus 1. We can go ahead and cancel the numerator x minus 1 into itself 1 and cancel the x minus 1 at the denominator also 1. That means they will divide themselves out. So the whole expression will be left with x plus 3 all divided by 1. The reason is the numerator will be left with 1 times x plus 3, which is still x plus 3. And the denominator will be left with 1. That is why x plus 3 at the numerator and denominator is 1. So the final answer will be x plus 3. Since x plus 3 over 1 is still x plus 3, any expression or any number divided by 1 is still the same number. So if you simplify the entire question, x squared plus 2x minus 3 all over x minus 1, you will get x plus 3. So the final answer for simplifying this particular algebraic fraction is x plus 3. So x plus 3 is our final answer. Thank you very much and God bless you.